he says to me, he goes, so, your blood work looks great.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? And I just burst into tears and I
Oh,
said, I think my breast implants are making me sick.
yeah.
And for a moment, he looked at me and he said, I think you're absolutely right.
Welcome to Perfectly Imperfect with Beautiful Disaster. These are the stories of our tribe. They are important, powerful, and will undoubtedly change you. Welcome back to Perfectly Imperfect with Beautiful Disaster. Thank you for tuning in, and I want to acknowledge you for taking the time to invest in your mental health and well-being and for supporting the Beautiful Disaster brand and mission. I am beyond pumped about today's episode. I have the honor of having Tara Hopko, breast implant illness survivor and author of the book, Let Me Get This Off My Chest, on with us today. After 3 years of being a competitive bodybuilder, she realized the only thing she couldn't sculpt were her breasts. So she decided on breast implants, but little did she know her boobs were going to take away her life as she knew it. In today's interview, we are pulling back the curtain about breast implant illness. Tara, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for your bravery to share your story and your experience with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to meet you.
So nice to
I
meet you
absolutely
too.
I love your brand and I love your mission. So I'm thrilled to meet you.
Oh, likewise. Likewise. We love your mission too. So when we originally connected, you said that Beautiful Disaster resonates with you to your core. And you shared that you lost your health and your will to live. Can you take us back to the time that kind of kicked off what you call falling into a societal trap?
Absolutely. So back in 2012, I decided I was a wife and I was a mom and I just needed a little bit something more in my life, something for me, right? We all kind of decide that we need a little bit more in our lives. So I decided for me that what I wanted to do was competitive bodybuilding. So
Amazing.
in 2012, I began to sculpt my body with the help of a trainer. And from 2012 until 2014, I competed in figure competitions.
Wow.
And it was a lot of work. I worked and I took care of my girls. My husband worked nights. So it was a crazy schedule. I spent a ton of time at the gym and I loved it. I loved every minute of training. I
Yeah.
loved lifting weights and I absolutely loved being on stage.
Yes.
So I did well. I competed, I think I did 6 competitions in a 2-year span.
Wow.
And yeah, I had a great time. It was a really great time. But
So
I
that's
noticed,
got to be a very intense way of life. I've known a couple competitors, I should say, in that field, and the routines and the diet, and I mean, it is rigid, right?
it is very rigid. It's very disciplined. And the diet is huge. The diet
Wow.
is probably 80% of how you look up on that stage. And
Wow.
it's 10% tan. And then the other 10 is just what you're doing in the gym.
Yeah.
Um, so I spent 3 hours a day at the gym. But honestly, it was all about the diet. I ate 7 times a day. It was
Wow.
mostly fish and asparagus. And um, I became what I now realize is quite obsessed,
Ah,
because I don't really do anything, not
half-assed.
100, yeah, half-assed. I do everything. I throw myself into it. And
Right.
so I did. And I did well and I loved it, but it started to change me. It really
Mm,
started to change me when I started the process. I never had body image issues. I loved me. I had no problems with who I was or how I looked. I
right.
just owned it. I ate what I wanted. I did what I wanted. It was
Yeah.
fine. And little by little, this process was starting to change me.
Oh,
And I think it was being up on that stage, just being judged all about the way you look.
yes.
And like I write about, the only thing I couldn't sculpt were my breasts.
Mm,
So I would be getting ready for these figure competitions, and I would be in the tanning booths with someone doing my tanning, and I would see all these women with these big breasts, and I
right.
had nothing. And I didn't care that theirs were fake, most of them.
Right.
I just wanted boobs to make
Yes.
me feel more like a woman.
Right.
So little by little, I started to change. And even after I stopped competing, I was still really trying to control what I was eating. And I was hiding from my family the fact that I would eat and then I would spit out what I was chewing in the garbage.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to intake the calories, but I just needed to taste foods
Oh,
that I hadn't had in a long time. And so I noticed that I had just started to gain these body image issues, almost an eating disorder of sorts.
No.
And this just wasn't who I was, but deep down I needed to fill the void.
Right.
And so I discussed with my husband and I said, I've made my body look a certain way. I'm so happy with the way it looks, but I really want boobs.
Right.
Typical guy. He was like,
I'm in.
I like boobs.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay. So he helped me find the doctor and find, the best type of implants and all of that. And that was in 2015 after I had done the 2 years of bodybuilding.
Wow. Yeah. And then take us through what started to happen right after you got your implants.
So I got my implants in 2015 in April, and I had gotten teardrop textured silicone implants.
Oh.
I was sold on the fact that I didn't have much breast tissue of my own and that these textured implants were going to be able to stay in place better. They wouldn't shift into my armpit. They were lifetime devices. I would never need to have anything done.
Wow.
They were less likely to develop a capsular contracture because they were textured. So I was sold on all of these things.
Yes.
I had a doctor who came very well recommended, and we went for it.
Yeah.
So I woke up from surgery,
Yep.
and I could say now that I immediately felt different, but I didn't realize it then. I thought that maybe it was the anesthesia that was making me sick, and that it was taking me a long time to kind of get through that. I had some acne that was developing on my chin. I thought, I justified that by saying, well, when I was in surgery, they had that breathing mask or something on my face. And then I started to develop issues like frequent urination. I was using the bathroom all the time. I couldn't not be in the bathroom.
Right.
So I went to an endocrinologist. I made him run blood work. I said, it must be from all the bodybuilding I did. I feel like I'm just going to the bathroom all the time. I've got to be diabetic. That's what it is.
Right.
I'm so thirsty and all I do is urinate. He ran blood work. He said, no, you're absolutely fine. Your blood work's, totally normal.
Right.
So it didn't explain what was going on, but I thought, you know what? I've just messed up my body with the bodybuilding. I need to just really, eat better and, try to control things that way. So, I worked on that for the first year. But the acne continued to get a little bit worse. And I noticed that I was kind of tired all the time. Everything in my head, I justified. I was busy. Right. I was working.
You're a mom and just stress,
life gets crazy. Exactly. So I just justified everything in my head the whole time. And the second year I had started a new job. So of course I thought, well, it's just more hours and it's more, physical thing, labor. Right. So I figured that must be what it is.
And doctor after doctor, as you kind of went down this road of, okay, I don't feel great. Right. I know something's wrong, but doctor after doctor, no answers.
No answers. The second year I started going to the doctor. That's when I would say I started going to the doctor for things like fatigue, and they tested me for Lyme's disease. They tested my hormones and my adrenal glands. Everything came back normal.
Wow.
I also started to have a lot of gut issues. Talk about disaster.
Right.
It was a disaster.
Yeah. And you're probably still eating clean.
Yes.
As clean as you could probably eat. So you're going, what's the deal?
Right. I just didn't understand. And I cut out dairy and I cut out gluten and I cut out all these things. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm still sick. It doesn't make sense. I was nauseous when I ate.
Right.
And nothing was making sense. The other thing that I had that was really bad is I started to develop panic attacks.
Oh no.
And these panic attacks were awful. And they would wake me in the middle of the night out of a deep sleep. Like I said, my husband works nights. I was home alone with my girls. I debated whether to call him, whether to call 911. I finally learned how to just kind of talk myself down out of these panic attacks. but it began to become depression
Oh
because I didn't
no.
want to leave the house. Between the acne that made me look, now I have a picture. Do you mind if I show you the
No,
picture
I don't
of,
mind at all. Please,
okay,
please.
so this is me. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so this was me after 3 years with my implants, and I absolutely became depressed. I didn't
Right.
want to leave the house. I hated the way I looked. My face hurt all the time. Um, and I didn't want to go anywhere. So, my family was struggling. They were suffering because I just wanted to stay home. I
My
wanted to
God.
sleep on the couch. And
And nobody could help you figure out why.
no, every doctor, you're fine. Blood work's fine. Everything's fine. You're just a hypochondriac. You're just
Oh
worried. It's
no.
anxiety. I had ended
Which
up with
is
heart.
not what you need to hear when you're suffering from depression and anxiety and panic
Absolutely.
attacks. Right.
Absolutely. It just makes it 10 times worse to be
Yes.
told that you're crazy and you're
It's in your
imagining all
head.
of what's happening.
Mm, mm,
And it's so real. You feel it in
yes.
your heart. It's so real.
Right.
So I'm blessed that I had family members who believed me. By the third year, I had such joint pain that on Christmas morning of 2017, I woke up, I couldn't walk.
Oh my
And my
God.
husband had to take me to the emergency room, and they said,
We don't know.
we don't know. You need to go for an
Wow.
MRI. I went for an MRI, and the MRI showed I had spontaneous tears all through my tendon. And they said, "Are you sure you didn't fall? Are you sure you didn't have an accident?" I said, "No, I literally woke up like this."
Right.
And they said, "Well, take these anti-inflammatories, and if you're better, then you're fine."
Oh
So I
man.
did. I took the anti-inflammatories, and not only a week later did it help my hip, but it also cleared up my face.
Interesting.
And so that got me to start thinking. I had been to dermatologist after dermatologist with no answers. They did an allergy test, and they tested me for 80 different products. They said that I was allergic to one out of the 80, which was thimerosal, which is a mercury-based product. And the
Yes.
dermatologist said to me, "You have acquired this. This isn't something that you were born with. You acquired it from overexposure." And I'm the kind of person that doesn't really like to get the flu shot. I don't
Right.
really,
Right.
overdo
You
medication or
avoid
anything.
mercury, except for all that fish you were eating when you were
Except
bodybuilding.
for
Very,
that's
very,
exactly right.
very minimal.
So, that got the wheels turning between the anti-inflammatories helping my acne and my joint pain, and then the mercury allergy. And I thought, what are my breast implants made out of? It was the
Oh,
only thing left that I never looked into. And
right.
and after getting into this vicious cycle of being sick and doctors and cardiologists
And
and
going through
rheumatologists and
your timeline of, okay, when did this all like happen?
right.
Yeah.
And because I had just done the bodybuilding, everything seemed like it was just kind of related to that. And that's how I just
Mm,
continued to justify it.
right.
So I got on the internet and I typed in, "What are my breast implants made out of?" And do you know what I found? Nothing. They wouldn't
Really
tell me. The internet wouldn't tell
interesting.
me what the ingredients of my breast implants were.
Hmm.
So that got me a little bit more curious.
Yes.
And, I started to think about, well, maybe this is something autoimmune because, it's inflammatory, obviously.
Right.
Um, so I started looking up autoimmune diseases and acne and all of that. And eventually, when I entered in to Google, "Can your breast implants cause autoimmune disease?" my world was turned
Wow.
upside down.
Oh my God.
I had been sitting on the couch for weeks. I didn't want to leave the house. Like I said, I was at my lowest. I would cry every night to my husband, and I would
Mm.
say, "I am dying of something.
Oh,
I don't know what it is, but I
right.
feel as though I'm being poisoned."
Right.
And I told him my wishes for when I died.
Oh my
Because to
God.
be honest with you, I absolutely felt as though I was dying. And I felt like I was trapped in an 80-year-old's body,
Right.
and I was
Just
just being,
deteriorating. Yeah.
and I was absolutely serious. He knew exactly what my wishes were.
Wow.
And I started to prepare my daughters. Not that I ever told them how serious it was, but I
Sure.
started to prepare them for, things like how do you go grocery shopping without mom? And how do you
Right.
do, just because I honestly felt I was not going to live for another year.
Oh my God.
So, that
So
was my lowest
how
point.
did that feel? Like, take us to how you felt when you finally saw something that made sense.
It was the best and the worst moment of my life so
I
far.
I can understand that. I can understand that.
Um, to finally have the answers, but then at the same time to know that I had spent thousands of dollars
Yeah.
to have these implants
I
put in because
know.
I felt as though I wasn't good enough without them.
Mm,
To realize that they were what was making me so sick. And now
right.
I was going to have to pay thousands of dollars to get them taken out.
Right.
All of the heartache that I had been through, that I had put my kids through, my husband,
Mm,
my whole family. I mean, my mom would cry with me all the time because we just didn't know it was wrong.
I know.
And so it was just one of those surreal moments where you're numb.
Right.
And
Because you're thinking, I did this
and
to
I
myself.
right.
That's what
There's
you're thinking, even though
absolutely
you didn't willingly do that to yourself. That you got more than you bargained for on that one.
right.
But I can
Right.
understand how you're thinking. Oh my God, this is something I wanted.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of guilt that goes along with that. And you beat yourself up a lot because, like you said, I've done this to me, I've done this to my family. It's financial, it's
Yeah,
emotional.
that's the
This has
messages
been
that are playing over and over and over in your head.
absolutely.
Right.
And so I'm also just I'm a realist and I'm a woman of action. So the moment I knew what was wrong with me,
Yeah.
I knew what I had to do.
Coming out. Yep.
I said, I'm done.
Yep.
And from that moment on, I had detached myself from the whole thing. It took me a
Right.
little while to talk to my family about it. I was afraid they were going to think I was nuts.
Right.
But they didn't. And I actually went to my primary care physician and I said, he says to me, he goes, so, your blood work looks great.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? And I just burst into tears and I
Oh.
said, I'm dying.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he goes, what? And I
Like,
said,
huh?
yeah. I go, I think my breast implants are making me sick.
Yeah.
And for a moment, he looked at me and he said, I think you're absolutely right.
Wow.
And my husband, thank God my husband was sitting there with me. And I looked at him and he looked at me and he said,
Oh.
we have tested you for everything, Tara. He
Right.
said, there's no reason why you should be this sick.
Right.
So he said, there's no test to tell
Right.
if this is the case.
Right.
The only thing you can do is get them taken out and pray that you feel better.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I absolutely knew what I had
Yeah.
to do. And at that moment, in that time frame in 2018, there was a lot of buzz about the cancer that's caused by breast implants.
Yes. I saw an article today that they
Yes.
finally recalled a certain textured
Yes.
implant from Allergan, I think it is. And so when you said textured implant, I was like, uh-oh. So anyway,
Yes.
not to cut you off, but I just saw that today. So it's a
No,
thing.
I appreciate you
It's
bringing
a
it
thing,
up.
you guys. It's a thing.
It is a thing and it is huge right now. And our community is totally going wild right now.
Yes.
It is on fire. This is one of the things that we have been fighting for. Allergan is a company that is unfortunately responsible for several deaths
Yeah.
from the cancer that is
Yep.
caused by these implants. And so that's why the FDA has asked them to take them off the market.
Well,
And they did.
Thank God.
Yes. So I didn't have Allergan textured, but I did have a different type of textured implants called Sientra implants. And I had some of the symptoms of the cancer. I had
Wow.
itching in my breast that would never go away. I had pain and burning sensation. I had swollen lymph nodes all over my body. And all of those things have gone away since
Wow. Since
I've
May
taken
4th.
my implants
Yes.
out. Since
So,
May 4th.
Take us through that experience, because you mention in your book it was almost instant when you opened your eyes. Yeah, so share that story with us.
So I have to say first, when I went into surgery, I was feeling so sick. I was afraid I wasn't going to make it out of surgery. And this is a very real feeling that many women who are about to have explant surgery feel, because you just feel so poisoned and so sick that you're just afraid you're not going to wake up. So that was my
Yeah.
first fear.
Oh,
So I went in, I had a wonderful doctor, my surgeon, Dr. Binowitz in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. He was amazing. And he held my hand while I fell asleep. And we laughed even before I fell asleep. I said, he goes, you know, the anesthesiologist is putting me to sleep. And I said, he goes, what are you feeling? And I said, I think the anesthesia's in my mouth and it tastes like shit. And he goes, well, then it's working.
Yeah,
and then I guess I was out. I don't remember anything after
Lights
that.
out.
So I woke up and I just remember hearing the beeping of the heart monitor and I thought, I'm alive.
Yes.
And anything after this, I can handle.
Right.
I can handle anything that comes after this. I just needed a second chance at life.
Yes.
And from the moment I woke up, I knew I was different. So we had to stay in a hotel room that night. And my husband said to me, you know, I was in pain, of course, but it was doable. It was totally doable. And I said, I want to order Italian food and let's talk about what we're going to do over the summer. And he's watching me like a ping pong ball bounce across the room.
Right.
And he said, you have more life in you right now than you have in 3 years. He's like, this is crazy. You just had surgery. And I was like, I know, but I feel amazing.
Oh my God.
It was like nothing I've ever experienced before. To be able to get my life back like that, I wanted to soak up every moment of it.
Yes.
And that feeling, thank God, has not left me since.
Right.
It's been amazing. So little by little, all of my symptoms started to go away. My acne started to clear up. My heart palpitations were gone. My anxiety, my panic attacks.
Oh God.
There was all my gut issues.
Yes.
Gone.
Wow.
And I didn't do anything except take my implants out. I wasn't doing a detox protocol. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I just ate clean foods. I drank lots of water.
You took out your implants.
I took out my implants and I felt amazing. And I no longer felt as though I was dying. And I no longer felt that I wanted to die because I knew when I had my implants, I didn't want to live like that anymore. So it was
this is such a mind-blowing topic and it's so necessary for people to hear. I do not have breast implants. I'm fortunate that I had naturally
blessed.
Naturally blessed. Yes. So it's not something I've ever had to deal with, but I don't know many people that don't have them, you know, and of those people, there's definitely anxiety, depression, or health issues, or this or that. And before reading your story and reading your book, I didn't know about breast implant illness. I didn't know it existed. So, you know, you've told me that you have now redefined your experience. And tell us now about your mission, the mission that you're on. And obviously your story inspired you to write this book. Let me get this off my chest. So share with us what this has done for you and the mission you're on now.
So like I said, it changed who I am. It absolutely, it was a faithful journey for me because at your weakest, right, you're on your knees and you're going, I can't do this alone.
Right.
And so whatever higher power you believe in, you just freaking pray, right? You go, I'll do anything for you to give me my life back. Yes. And that's where I was at. I was on my knees. As you read in my book, I was on my shower floor.
Yep.
And I was at my lowest point. And so
hiding it from people. Yeah.
Yeah. Just painting a smile on my face every day at work, at home. People did not know how sick I was. I honestly didn't know how sick I was because I was so confused. So I've redefined myself. I love me. And I love me for all of my scars. And like you say, for all of my imperfections.
Yes.
And I'm not defined by my boobs, by any of my body parts. Right. I am defined by who I am as a person, by what I bring to the table in a relationship and a friendship. And the fact that I'm strong-willed and I never give up, and I never gave up on myself. I just kept digging and digging and digging to figure out what was wrong with me.
Yes.
So those are the things that define me now, and I'm not afraid to speak out about it. And like I say in my book, self-love is not selfish, because I don't know when society decided that it was okay to tell us that we are wrong for thinking well of ourselves.
Right.
Like, who the hell decided that it's not okay for me to love me?
That's right.
And the fact that all women do is compete against each other, and who's the prettier, and who's sexier and bigger and smaller here and whatever.
Yeah.
We need to lift each other up. And that's what I love about your brand, because that's what you're all about. And reading your posts on your Facebook page that you have for women, and just building each other up, because, you know, prior to being beautifully broken now, I didn't have the easiest childhood either.
Right.
And we all have those scars that some you can see and some you can't.
Correct.
And some of us hide them better than others. But we all have a story to tell.
We do.
And so I just feel like we have to embrace each other. And so I'm on this mission to just promote self-love.
Yes.
And especially, I have 2 daughters who are 13 and 11.
Those are the ages.
I do this for them
because
I'm raising them. We're raising these girls in a filtered society.
Yep.
They don't even know what is real anymore.
I know.
Everything is filtered, and they see these YouTube videos and TikTok videos, and they think life is perfect.
Of course.
And it's not.
It's all a facade.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm all about being honest and just being real, especially with my kids. My kids have been on this journey with me from start to finish.
Yes.
I've been totally truthful with them.
Yes.
I don't keep anything from them. They know everything that I've been through. They see my scars, and they see how proud I am of them.
Yes.
So,
and now
so
you're helping get this message out. Your book is incredibly powerful.
Thank you.
I didn't know about it. We connected, and now we're going to share this on a platform with hundreds of thousands of people, because they need to know it. They need to hear it. And if it's not them, it may be somebody they know. And
everybody,
and it could prevent something from happening. So I am just so honored to have met you. I am honored to have you in the Beautiful Disaster Tribe. You are an unbelievable warrior. Please tell our listeners and our viewers where they can find your book and how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. So, like you said, I'm an advocate now. I am a breast implant illness advocate. I went to the FDA and I testified on behalf of the FDA back in March. I spent 2 days there with 80 amazing, amazing women that I'm in a support group with.
Great.
And we all are shouting it from the rooftops. We're telling anybody and everybody that will listen, whether it's the news or social media or in person, handing out business cards. We're telling people that everybody has the potential to get sick from their breast implants, whether it's breast implant illness or whether it's the cancer that it causes. Everyone has that potential. No one is safe from that. And so I've become quite the advocate, and I absolutely love doing it.
Yes.
My book is available on Amazon. You can get it in Kindle, you can get it in paperback, and you can get it in audiobook.
Awesome. We'll put a link into it too on the video.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I started writing my book right after my explant surgery, and it just came out because it was just my story.
That's right.
And it was easy for me to tell. And I talk about self-love, and I actually have an excerpt from it that I wanted to share because
please.
In my book, which I wrote before I found you.
Yes. Oh, I saw it. I saw it. I know what you're going to say.
It says, breast implant illness may have broken you, but you are beautifully broken.
That's right.
Your brokenness is not the final outcome. Your outcome is the reward of who you get to become after the storm is over.
That's right.
And I absolutely think that applies to anybody, no matter what storm you've walked through, whether it's abuse, neglect, death of a family member, spouse, anything, whatever you're walking through,
Yeah.
you will get through that storm, and you are going to be different on the other side.
Yes, you will.
You have to, that's the best part of this whole journey, is that through the storm, I've become this whole new person.
Yes.
And so I can't look back with regret on
Right.
what I've been through.
Right.
I have to look at it with grateful eyes, because it's given me so much. I've met amazing women. I've had amazing experiences. And so no matter what happens from here on out, like, life is just freaking good.
It is. And
it's just good.
And you just touched on something so profound, and I've experienced it myself through traumas. There's a gift. There's a gift. And when you're in it, man, it doesn't feel like a gift. But every person that I have spoken with, interviewed, interacted with, emailed with, chatted with, that has been through the shittiest of shit gets a gift.
Yes.
And you just have to go through it. You can't go around it. You can't go underneath it. You have to go through it in order to get your gift. And we don't understand it, but for some reason, when we're through it, we're thankful.
Yes.
And it's a bizarre concept, but
Yep.
you look at it like this roadmap of life, right? And you put all these little pins in the map of where you've been in the past. And when you got to that pin, it wasn't good. But when you get to this pin and you look all the way back, it's unbelievable, the sense of gratitude that we find from what we thought was the worst of the worst that ends up being a gift. And
Absolutely.
I'm so encouraging of women, just don't stay stuck. Like,
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just,
Yes.
you didn't give up. You felt like you were dying, but you didn't give up. You didn't give up. And that is the determining factor of getting through.
Absolutely. And this is what the women that I mentor through their explant surgery and all of this, I tell them, and I have a chapter in my book called The Gift. That's why I love what you said, because it's such a gift.
It is.
And I tell the women that you have to let go of the anger, because that anger is an extension of the storm that you walked through.
Yeah.
So if you're holding on to that anger, you're not fully through the storm.
That's
right? So you've got to let go, and you've got to move forward, and you have to then turn that terrible situation into something beautiful, because it is. You have to find the beauty in every situation.
You do. It is. It's so much mindset. It's so much mindset. But I interrupted you so we could find the book on Amazon. And how can our listeners and viewers connect with you if they have questions, if they need resources? So share that with us.
Absolutely. I'm on Facebook just as Tara Hopko, and I also have another page, Tara Hopko, Let Me Get This Off My Chest.
Okay.
And you can find me, you can message me on either of those. I'm on Instagram as tiny_tower.
Okay.
And then I'm also on YouTube. I just started a YouTube channel, and I'm just trying to, any way I can get the word out there, I'm doing it.
Yes.
So any of those, I have women messaging me daily. They're scared.
Yep.
They're hopeless. And I'm sure you get this too.
Yes.
And, there's some days where lifting them up puts me back where I need to be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you lose your way too, right? You get frustrated and you start to get just overwhelmed by all of this. I'm sure you understand. And helping others continues to help me heal.
The moment that I am stuck inside of myself, when I'm of service to our tribe, I mean, it's instant. Instant puts you right back in your place, makes you remember what you're here to do, puts you back on track. Yes.
It does. It just totally centers you again.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes. So I have a request.
So I hope people reach out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, I think they will. I think there's people that are going to be curious. Maybe they won't reach out today, tomorrow, whenever the timing is right for them, or if they share your information with somebody else. But I do have a request of you because it's so powerful. I'm hoping that you will read your I Woke Up One Day poem for us during this interview. And then when you're finished with that, I have something a little bit fun for us. So
okay,
take it away.
All right. I woke up one day. I woke up one day and thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice to have a top shelf? I'd feel like a woman, wear a real size brassiere. My husband and I would hold them so dear. So Doc put 'em in 370 cc's. Little did I know I'd be brought to my knees. They were fun at first. I sure filled out a dress, but I began to start feeling I'm a bit of a mess. First it's fatigue, then a lymph node would swell. My eyes look so sick, I wonder if anyone can tell. Your hair doesn't grow, the hairdresser would say. I hear, why in the world does your face look that way? Pain burning, pain stabbing, constant ringing in my ears. I've grown oh so unsure that I can handle all these fears. Day after day aging in double time. Ouch, that pain in my hip, maybe this could be Lyme. Oh, hey there, doc, I can't breathe well, I say. He cocks his head to the side, maybe try yoga someday. You're nervous, you're anxious, you worry too much, but I feel it's these bags causing all this weird stuff. Each night as I sit with my husband and cry, all I can say is I feel I might die. So I woke up one day and I looked at myself. I still have great boobs, but where are my health? The who I once was has disappeared awful quick. My body and soul are left feeling sick. What's wrong with me, doc? I broke down and cried. Your blood work looks good, but I feel dead inside. So I woke up one day being brought to my knees. I prayed to the heavens, someone help me please. Was then that I found info Nicole had shown. Thousands of women, I'm not alone. Breast implant illness, it's real and it's true. If only I'd known, if only we knew. But I woke up one day, now I know what to do. To my body and mind, I must stay true. From this nightmare I'm living, I want to wake up, even if that means I'll be an A cup. These bags have to go, I will take my life back. What I'll do is explant, it's my plan of attack. It's then that the heal will begin to take start, my body, my mind, my soul, and my heart. I'll surely be sad to not fill out a dress, but peace I will have to let go of this stress. Then I'll wake up one day, to my daughters I'll say, look in the mirror and love yourself this way. To myself I will turn, and then I will say, I'm grateful for you and that you woke up one day.
So good. So good. I know. No, I'm crying. Don't worry. I'm crying too. Oh, you
I
are
wrote that
amazing.
I wrote that right after I found out about breast implant illness. And, I just, writing, obviously, it's a therapeutic thing for me. So my book just started with me wanting to process everything that had happened. I wanted to have a memoir for my daughters to remember what we went through.
Right.
And after reading it, I thought, you know what, maybe I could save a few lives doing this. Maybe I could just help people know that they're not alone. And I just today hit 500 books that I've sold. So yay!
That is amazing. Congratulations. Well,
Thank
I know
you.
for sure your mission and the community you're creating is going to save lives. It's going to raise awareness. I'm a girl who didn't know about it until I met you, Tara. So your message is being heard and it will continue to be shared. And I am just so grateful that you are in the Beautiful Disaster Tribe. Like I said, we are honored to have you. We have so many women from so many different walks of life that have overcome so many different things. And this is how we take our power back as women, because perfection does not exist. We do not live in a filter. And I agree with you. For our daughters and our sons, we've got to lift this veil. We have got to lift this veil, and we've got to learn how to love ourselves. And I'm just so proud of you, and I hope you honor yourself for contributing to that movement.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me and welcoming me into your tribe. I think that both of our missions complement each other so amazing. So I hope that my girls watching this will also become a part of the Beautiful Disaster Tribe, because they are amazing. And it's just another place for you to go and know that you're loved, you're supported, you are complete and enough just as you are. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So before we go, I want to have some fun with you. I am going to ask you 5 rapid fire questions. And they're just silly. They're just for fun. And all you do is answer them with just a couple sentences. And it's just silly and fun. Okay? So question number 1. What is your favorite fast food and what do you order?
Oh, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I love chicken tenders and waffle fries.
Excellent. Side note, our warehouse is directly behind a Chick-fil-A. We literally smell it all day, every day. And
I would have such a hard time with that.
It still smells good.
It's so good. Oh, and you got to have Chick-fil-A sauce with your tenders.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, number 2, what's your favorite word to use?
Oh, the F word.
Perfect.
I can't stop saying it. My husband's like, well, you stop dropping the F-bomb around.
No, you got to say it. You got to say it, and you got to say it with conviction, because sometimes frickin' just doesn't do the job. It just doesn't do the job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Number 3, what turns you on the most?
When my husband cleans the house. I'm like, if you want to get it, just do the dishes.
Just do the freaking dishes.
So he's over there scrubbing. I got this. I'm on it.
So cute. So much truth in that, but so cute. What turns you off the most?
That's a really good question. I should have an answer. And
it can't be dirty dishes.
I don't know. I guess when we smell.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, body odor.
We're like, okay, you know what? This shouldn't happen now. We'll reconvene later.
How about we meet in the shower?
Yeah, even better.
Okay, and number 5.
And now my girls are going, ew.
Right, now they're like, fast forward. Number 5, if you got a check in the mail for $1 million, what would you do with it?
I would start an explant fund for women who cannot explant. My husband and I talk about this all the time.
Yes.
That we would start a place not only where women could get explant for a cheaper cost, but that they could come and recover, and we would take care of them for, the first 2 weeks after surgery.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, keep spreading your message. You know that you give and you shall receive. So keep working hard at your mission. And thank you, Tara, so much for educating us, inspiring us, making us laugh there at the end. And we're just so honored that you shared your story with us. And if there's anything else that you would like to say, to the tribe and to anybody who might be listening or watching this, go ahead and close it up for us.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me and welcoming me into your tribe. Like I said, I'm honored to be a part of it, and I'm proud to be beautifully broken. And I think that's the only thing left that I want to say is that just be who you are, own it, and love you for who you are and for all that you stand for, and all of your scars and all of your imperfections, because the sexiest thing is confidence.
Yes.
So just own it, girl.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel like I have a new friend.
Yeah. Oh, you do. You do have a whole family here at Beautiful Disaster. So, yep, we will be in touch soon. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, go to Amazon. Let Me Get This Off My Chest by Tara Hopko. And find her on Instagram and Google Tiny Tower, right?
Tiny_Tower.
Tiny_Tower on Instagram and Facebook, Tara Hopko. Reach out, connect. She's absolutely more than willing to help you, answer your questions, give you resources, steer you in the right direction. And if you are feeling connected to the topic of this video or podcast, don't ignore it. Reach out, start to explore the little synchronicities that you're like, that's interesting. I have that, and I have implants. At least reach out to Tara. She'll help you through it.
If they don't feel comfortable reaching out, they can go to healingbreastimplantillness.com.
They're healingbreastimplantillness.com. So thank you to all of our listeners, all of our subscribers, and we'll see you next time. Bye, Tara.
Thank you. Bye.